So we have at long last a confirmation of something that we had already reported on this channel and that we were getting inklings about. But we now know that KL Rahul, who you'd remember kept very well during the series against South Africa, which was of course taking place in South Africa. He had kept wickets there, got 100. Good performance overall, you can say, both with the gloves and with the bat. But for the series against England, we had already reported that he won't be considered as a wicket-keeper batsman. Rather, he would play as a pure batter. And now Rahul Dravid, the head coach, has confirmed as much. In fact, Harshit, can you read out the quote and tell what exactly it is that Dravid had said regarding, KL and not keeping wickets, let's say?
Sure. Let's quickly tell you guys what exactly is it that the head coach has said about KL Rahul not keeping the wickets for the series against England. So he said that Rahul will not be playing as a wicketkeeper in the series, and we were clear about it in the selection itself. We have picked two other wicketkeepers, and obviously Rahul did a fantastic job for us in South Africa and really played a big part in helping us draw the series. Now that's part one of what he said. Let's go further and tell you how he's tried to rationalize the whole situation as far as this decision is concerned. He says that, but considering that it's a 5-match test series and playing in these conditions, the selection will be between the two other keepers that we have. So being made very clear that KL Rahul would have, from the first place itself, in the first place, he would have been in the side as a batter, which actually opens up a Pandora's box, because if that were to be the case, then somebody in the top order would have had to make way for KL Rahul as a specialist batter, not as a wicket keeper. It is whatever. Perhaps the BCCI finds itself, in a rather comfortable position right now, because Virat Kohli, as we know, has withdrawn. So one of them, or both of them, rather just move a slot up in the batting order. But what would have been the situation had Virat Kohli been available, and what's going to be the thought process in the third test match onwards? That's something that we will have to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I always thought, and I think it was rather unfair, but I think Shreyas Iyer was the one whose neck was on the chopping board, because his performances in South Africa, definitely left a lot to be desired. However, in that regard, the counterpoint is that at home he's had a very good record. Particularly, he's probably one of your best players against spin and you know you're gonna be getting spinning tracks in this series. It's not gonna be good friendly, batter friendly, or dare I say sporting tracks. You're not getting any of that. You're gonna be getting rank turners, which means having a player like Iyer, who's good against spin, and not just good, will take the spinners on 10th their confidence potentially, would have been a major, let's say, use. It would have been absolutely good to have him there. And I think unfortunate, and why I'm saying it had to be him, because why else would the news come about that KL is there but he's going to play as a pure batter?
Exactly.
If you were going to drop him, you could have dropped him just like that. But then they're saying, no, he'll play as a pure batter, which means, they're considering starting him in the 11.
I think you're right, and if there was somebody who would then have to be sacrificed or not, then be included in the top 11 or in the playing 11, would have been Shreyas, is what my guess also is. Unfair if you ask, because again, yes, he was found wanting in South Africa. We all know that. Even though he scored the winning runs in the first test match, second test match, beg your pardon. But again, those 5-6 balls that he played, you knew that he was out of sorts over there as well, and he didn't have an ideal outing. Those 4 innings that he played in South Africa didn't go as per plan for him. But again, as you rightly point out, look at his numbers in India. It's the same man who had a century on debut. It's the same man who gives you a lot of confidence while playing on Indian conditions, playing on Indian surfaces, spinning tracks, like you said, you're obviously going to be getting here, and he is hands down one of the better players of spin bowling. Having said that, the other thing we need to talk about is who comes in now, who keeps the wickets for India. That's the big question. 2 names now, obviously, that India now left with. Now that we know that KL Rahul will be a specialist batter in the top order. Dhruv Jurel, uncapped at the moment. The next name, KS Bharat. Last you saw him was in the BGT. Those 4 test matches that he played, after which he was dropped in West Indies. Hasn't played a test match since then.
He did play the World Test Championship final too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes, he played that. Yeah. He played that as well.
It was after that
only that from the West Indies series onwards that he wasn't then included. He was traveling in South Africa, if I'm not wrong, but obviously didn't get a game because you had KL bat and keep the wickets over there. But this, though, is the BCCI now turning back to somebody who we thought was shelved, and Ishan Kishan was then, remember, given his debut in the West Indies, or are we looking at the introduction of a certain Dhruv Jurel who has scored 350s in first class games of late, back-to-back 50s, in fact one coming in that match between India A and England Lions as well. Averages just about 45, 46 in first class cricket, but Shane, not a lot of experience, just 15 first class matches for him. Are we in this big series looking at somebody as young as him, 23-year-old Dhruv Jurel, making his debut?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. And I am a big fan of Dhruv Jurel. I remember he impressed me a lot. Even last year when he was playing for Rajasthan Royals, if I'm not mistaken, in the IPL, had a few good knocks in the lower middle order. Obviously I don't think he got a chance to keep wickets because obviously with Rajasthan it's always Sanju Samson, the captain, who dons the gloves. But and I don't quite know what his keeping stats are when it comes to, let's say, first class cricket. But he does do a fairly good job as a batter. That being said, are you giving someone a debut in a series as he is in England one? If you were playing Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, I would have still considered it as, said, okay, you know what, probably not the worst team in the world in home conditions to give a player like that his debut, but I doubt. I think you're going to stick with KS at least for the first 2 tests. If he absolutely does a bad job, then and only then you'll probably be tempted to go with Dhruv Jurel. So the first 2 tests, I think, KS Bharat is, unless of course he gets a pair, in which case probably I don't know. But again, I think first 2 tests you're probably sticking with KS.
I have a similar feeling. I don't think you're looking at Dhruv Jurel making a debut. Also because remember, this Indian side does need as many points as possible from this WTC cycle. So it's not something that you can experiment, or you can in this series you can really afford to experiment. It's baseball coming at you in many ways. There's a lot of hype around it, and it's not going to be, let's say, an easy affair for India. More often than not, you're confident of India winning the series. You are confident at the moment as well, but you expect a certain pushback from England as well, given the brand of cricket they're playing. So a lot being talked about over there, and those conditions, given the fact that you already dropped points in the Windies and then in South Africa, the one drawn match and the one lost match, you're looking at maximizing whatever points that you can get from this series. So maybe in those circumstances, a debut right now for Dhruv Jurel. Still got a bright future ahead of him, I'm sure, and we hope that he does play for India at some point. But at the moment, looks like he may have to be in the wings for some more time, because looking at how crucial this series is and how high pressure a situation things could get going forward, maybe then he will have to wait for some more time.
Yeah, 100%. I think, of course, now with KL also being there, we thought, okay, that might actually push things back a bit, because again, KL there is a keeping option, at least for overseas tours. Then, of course, you had Bharat in the mix. You had a Kishan also, but I think he's kind of fallen off the radar. In that sense, I think Dhruv Jurel definitely has done impressively well to find himself in contention. Again, how often do you see, and of course, it does speak to the fact that, as I said, India have had quite a mixed situation with wicket keepers recently. There's no Rishabh Pant still available, otherwise we'd probably not even having this debate.
There's that mystery around Sarfaraz Khan as well, which will continue to be there as well, which is why, of course, a lot, the wicket-keeper batter role continues to be, one of those mystery roles at the moment. There's some story or the other around the wicket-keeper batters in India right now, even though Sarfaraz, yes, has seen a dip in form of late. But having said that, for the kind of Ranji seasons that he had...
Has he kept wickets a lot recently, though? I don't think so.
I am not sure.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But again, just speaking of the role at large, yes, of course...
He might find his way back into the team now, because the BCCI did make it very clear that they're going to name a replacement player for Kohli. I think it'll be someone who comes and warms the bench. But, if he's getting that call-up, if he finally gets that call-up...
I still doubt, Shane.
There are other contenders.
I know this will probably be divisive, but maybe you can look at a Pujara as well.
Oh no, 100%. You're talking about divisive. His name was trending yesterday on Twitter. People wanted him back, but I think you may not go there because you want to look forward. Maybe that's again, the only thing.
It's just it just happens to be the case that the BCCI finds itself in a situation so often where you think as to, okay, we've taken a step forward, but then you just try and just look back. You see, okay, it doesn't feel like a bad option to get back those guys that we'd left back, because you saw something like this happen last year, again this year as well, with the kind of performances you're seeing from Pujara. He got that double ton in
reached 20,000 runs as well.
Yes,
first class.
Yes, yes. So, but again, it's been a situation that the BCCI has been finding itself in, wherein you have to make a choice whether you continue to be on the path, the decision that you've taken, but you just look back and things of the past just try and look, they just look more bright then, and then you're in a fix whether I should be going back or not. If I've taken a hard call, should I be going forward again? More or less a similar situation, but maybe Sarfaraz as well. How about Rajat Patidar?
Wouldn't be the worst option in the world, because again he's done well in that one unofficial test against the England Lions.
Yes.
And don't forget, if they really want to, there's an indication towards that happening, which I just realized. They have named Rinku Singh in the India A squad for the second unofficial test onwards, because again it was supposed to be from the third test onwards that Rinku was going in, but now it's going from the second test onwards. Maybe they want to make him try out there, which means the Patidar can be pulled out into this.
Correct. So you made some space in the India A squad in that England Lions series that's going on, and perhaps you handpick somebody from there and paratroop him into the Indian team, albeit to just warm the bench maybe. But for youngsters out there, even let's say Rajat Patidar, who obviously has been around Virat Kohli for quite some time, as we know, but it'll be good exposure for him to just be traveling with the Indian team in India. Things can get hostile when you're going abroad, but not over here. Ideal conditions for you to be with the team. Just get cozy around those players, see their work ethic, see how they operate, how the Indian team operates. Those are learning lessons as well for young players like Rajat Patidar, maybe Sarfaraz as well, who knows. But it'll be interesting to see who the replacement will be. For now, the BCCI, in that statement that it put out yesterday, said that yes, there'll be a replacement named very soon. Could be now.
That very soon hasn't happened yet.
Exactly, but can happen any moment. In case you want to be updated when it happens, you know what to do. Come to Sports Day, tap that bell so that you know when we go live, that notification will pop up on your phone for the very latest, not just in the world of cricket, going across the spectrum. Your one-stop destination.
Right here. And
for now, Shane and I will take your leave. Bye-bye.